is Lisa Grunden. Hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope it has been a fabulous day for all of you. And today, in working with a coach of mine and working with a couple of clients, I realized that there are a lot of us out there who still are locked into an old story of abuse, of victimhood, of not being good enough, of not having enough, an old story of whatever. And it might even be an old story of, hey, this is how successful I am, and this is how successful I will always be. So I want to know, what are you blocking? What are you blocking by your thoughts, by your mind, that you are not receiving all of that abundance that you have been asking for? You know, a teacher once said that, how did it go? That God answers all prayers. Sometimes the answer was no. And I'd like to tweak that a little bit, because when we really put a lot of energy out there and there's something that we're really working towards and everything else, there's a lot of energy that goes out there. And so the universe can dream much bigger than us. So when we get it back, it doesn't always look the way we expect it to be. Like maybe he's not tall, dark, and handsome. Maybe he's a little shorter, a little paunchier, and generous as heck, and loves you to death. And maybe, not to death, to love. And maybe the clients that you've been asking for, they look a little different. Instead of getting $3,000 clients, you get $700 clients. And, it's still, really, really, really good. In fact, it's even better. And lots of times we just block off and cut off that if we were open to receiving, and like if our hands were open instead of tightly closed and tightly clenched, if they were open to receiving, what else could be coming? That I learned from a very good friend of mine who teaches the Khalsa meditation. His name is BJ Khalsa. You'll hear about him in my videos. And we did a 2-hour meditation yesterday. I know, 2 hours, right? Anyway, only under the hands of a gifted and guided teacher could I do a 2-hour meditation. So a lot of the meditations that they do are heart opening. So last times when I talked to him about it today, I said, there were various times that I found myself crying. And that's the heart opening. It's the heart opening to receiving more, to loving more, to feeling more, to gifting more. Because a lot of us have built walls around us. We had people that helped build walls around us. And so what are you cutting yourself off from? What abundance? By holding your hand out in stop mode, by resisting, by not being open, by not sometimes just going with the flow. Have you ever been tubing? We used to go tubing down the Apple River in Wisconsin. And when you go tubing, there's one thing that happens, that the river has its way with you. There's no paddling back upstream against the river. You'll really see this if you go whitewater rafting. There's really it's like, okay, we go with the flow. We can't resist. It's not going to do us anything. It's not going to do us any good. We're certainly not going to be able to combat the river. And also, in a lot of resisting, we actually could wind up harming or injuring ourselves. And so in tubing, you just get on your tube and you just kind of flow down the river. Don't forget your sunscreen. As a redhead, I've been terribly burned on a day in a day of tubing. And so what the importance of that story is going with the flow. It's the lack of resistance. It's like, okay, so any obstacles that show up, we just kind of push our way around them. Sometimes we have to get up and walk through the water till the water is running a little more smoothly again. And we have blocked ourselves off in so many ways from success by saying, nope, it didn't look the way that I expected to look like, so it must not be it. Kind of like that story about the man trapped by the flood and waters, and he prays to God for help. And a man shows up in a motorboat and he says, no, God's going to save me. He's on top of the roof and a helicopter shows up and it says, no, God's going to save me. And he dies, he drowns, he goes up and he talks to God and he says, God, how come you didn't come to save me? And he goes, what do you mean? I sent you a motorboat, I sent you a helicopter. Not always in the form of a burning bush. And being open to receiving, it's going, wow, thank you. Practice those words, thank you. Wow, thank you. It's amazing what happens, even with things. When I say thank you, even to things that I think that, I didn't really want or don't really appreciate, I just say thank you. It's amazing how my heart opens. It's amazing what I have seen transpire in the lives of my clients when they use the words thank you. And so maybe it's just that you're not using your energy to your best advantage throughout the day. There's lots of ways of structuring your life so that you can make the most of each and every single moment. And what this is allowing yourself to receive. Allowing yourself to receive. Allowing yourself to receive the many gifts and the many blessings that are out there for you. So, is everybody going to be filthy, stinking rich? Jim Carrey once said that he wished that everyone's dreams came true and they got all the money that they ever wanted to get, and then they would find out that that wasn't the answer. The answer's inside. The answer's in allowing yourself to receive. And the answer's in allowing yourself to see the gift that you truly be. And we have lots of exercises that we do with this. Lots and lots of things that we do with this so that you can see how remarkable, how amazing, how fabulous, how talented that you truly be. Because just because your gifts don't look like mine, or they don't look like the person sitting next to you, or the person across the street from you, or the person on the newspaper, doesn't mean they don't exist. And I've said this before, and it's not about finding out what's wrong with you. It's about finding out all the really cool things about you and celebrating them and bringing them and shining them up to the light. That's what receiving and abundance and gifting and being open and open to receiving truly is. And then do really cool things happen? Absolutely they do. Really cool things happen all of the time. How many of them are you saying yes to? How many of them are saying, yeah, I'll have some more of that. I'd like another helping of that. Yeah, I'll have some more of that. That's pretty good. When you practice stuff like this, even with the kind of things that we perceive to be sucky things, so many people said, oh, I can't be grateful for the sucky things in my life because then I'm telling the universe I want more of that. There are so many people that simply do not understand the law of attraction. It's not how it works. It is not how it works. There's no cancel, 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 cancel. There's reframing, there's restructuring. There's saying yes. Because you are far more powerful than you have ever allowed yourself to acknowledge. You are far more creative, far more juicy in all of your details. So how about claiming some of that juiciness? How about finding some of that right stuff all about you? And in the process, finding that right stuff about your kids, about your significant other, about your insignificant other, about the family that you were raised into. All of that. And so we are in a movement. The movement's make a difference. And the movement is seeing the difference that you truly be. How cool is that? How cool is that? And so, more along this lines tomorrow, we will talk and I'll actually give you some exercises that you can practice with this. So I'm Lisa, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.